Welcome to U.S. News Source Channel. Explosion sounds echoed from the territory of Russia. Moscow again had to face the inadequacy of air defense. In the Belgorod region of Russia, explosions were reported after successive attacks. For the first time, an attack was launched on a region in Donbass with HIMARS missile systems. Moreover, a record number of attacks were carried out in one region, again using Vampire rocket systems. 40 shots were fired at Russian military points with unguided bullets. Hundreds of Russian soldiers were neutralized during the day. After large-scale missile attacks, cruise missile ships in the Black Sea were withdrawn. Russian military ships accompany the war with fearful moves. Russia's tension is rising with increasing attacks on the country's territory. Again, the flames rose after the explosions. Measures taken are almost completely inadequate. In recent days, Russian lands have also started to be affected by the war in Ukraine. Explosions are taking place one after another at the military points of Russia, especially in the regions close to the border. This time, explosions occurred in the Belgorod region of Russia. Areas hit by the explosions shook and panic increased. It was stated that these explosions were quite powerful. It was reported that air defense systems were activated after the explosions. However, these systems were insufficient and the region suffered a lot of damage. Although Russia blamed the Ukrainian army for the attacks on the region, no statements were made that the attack came from Ukraine. At the same time, the fact that explosions occur on the territory of Russia with each passing day shows that the existing defense systems and measures of Moscow are insufficient. Previously, various measures were taken when the explosions increased on the Russian side. However, as the military points receive serious damage with each passing day, it is also proven that these are insufficient. If a solution is not found for this situation, the losses will increase significantly. Moreover, the operations on the Eastern Front are increasing in intensity. With the intense clashes, Russian military points are neutralized. This time, the attack was launched for the first time with HIMARS missile systems against the Shchastia region on the Luhansk front. It has been reported that Ukrainian troops fired 3 HIMARS missiles at this critical area at night. Hit Russian military targets seriously damaged. At the same time, it was stated that these systems are the missile systems deployed closest to the front line. Fact that these missile systems advanced from the front suggests that there is no fear of their destruction. Reason for this fearlessness is that these systems are very difficult to detect and destroy. Moreover, it is known that Russian soldiers are not enough to make accurate moves. At the same time, the importance of the region where the attack was launched for the first time on this front was wondered. This region is very close to the center of Luhansk. It is also very close to the Russian border. As long as dominance in this region is ensured, moves towards both the Russian military command points in the center and Russian territory may increase. Presence of commanders in these command points also causes them to become targets. Moreover, the fact that Russia's rare experienced soldiers are located at such points will make success in ground operations impossible in case of losses. Moreover, the operations on this Eastern Front continue to accelerate and increase in intensity. It is claimed that the most violent attacks in 8 years have been carried out in recent days. Ukrainian troops again carried out a record number of attacks on the Donetsk front. According to the statements, large-scale and powerful attacks were carried out with Vampire multiple launch rocket systems against Russian military points on this front. About 40 missiles were fired in just 10 minutes of these attacks. It was reported that these attacks, which were fired by unguided bullets, were in record numbers. As a result of this attack, many Russian military infrastructures and points were seriously damaged. Again, Russia caused heavy losses. Bombardments on this front continue to increase day by day. This shows that Ukraine continues to deploy many of its military resources and heavy weapons to this front. It has also been announced that there are at least 4 Vampire rocket systems used in recent attacks on this front, and that these systems have the potential to shoot 120 unguided ammunition. These attacks are quite destructive for Russia. Now the war is getting much more challenging for Moscow. Especially the Russian soldiers, who have difficulties in ground operations, try their luck in air attacks, but then the Ukrainian air defense forces intervene and shoot down many Russian missiles. In fact, Russia recently deployed cruise missile-laden ships to the Black Sea for these missile attacks. However, immediately after these attacks, the ships withdrew from this sea. This shows that Russia is afraid of the destruction of these very expensive cruise missiles. Moreover, Russia lost more than 400 soldiers during the day. Nearly 450 Russian soldiers were neutralized in a short time. Ukrainian armed forces also destroyed 1 artillery system, 5 tanks, 6 armored combat vehicles and 14 vehicles and tankers of the Russian army. Flames rose after explosions from Russian military equipment in the region. Moreover, it is known that such equipment is of great importance in these days when the violence of the war has increased considerably. Decrease in each of these causes a decrease in the military operation and attack power on the Russian side. Despite this, the attempts of the Russian troops to attack continue. This time, 5 missile attacks were carried out during the day. Infrastructures were also targeted and damaged in areas in Donetsk. At the same time, Russian troops fired 2 P-800 Onyx rockets towards the Odessa region via the Crimea. But both these missiles were destroyed by the Ukrainian air defense forces. These moves cause Moscow's current ammunition to gradually decrease. Moreover, Russia does not get much help from other countries because of its relations with many countries. One of the rare countries he cooperates with is Belarus. As it is known, the leaders of these two countries get along very well in the military and diplomatic fields. They also provide each other with various military equipment and ammunition for support purposes. This time, it was reported that Belarusian President Lukashenko and Russian President Putin will hold talks. According to the statements, a visit to Minsk will be made as of tomorrow with the crowded delegation of the Russian leader. According to what was announced by Belarus, this meeting will be held with the participation of Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu and Belarusian Defense Minister Viktor Krenin. It was stated that within the scope of this meeting, issues related to the security of the two countries will be discussed. In addition, it was announced that all the ministers will come together first, and then the leaders of the two countries will hold a meeting. A press conference will be held after this important meeting. As it is known, Belarus is one of the rare countries that has supported Russia since the beginning of the war. In addition, the two leaders meet regularly. Although Belarus claims that it does not directly participate in this war with remarkable statements, it allows Russia's troops to use its territory to carry out attacks against Ukraine. Moreover, Russia's attack on infrastructures from the territory of this country increases the reactions to Belarus. In fact, as is known, many NATO countries have deployed many military resources to the border of these two countries in order to take various measures. If Russia and Belarus unite and make possible risky moves, many countries will take action. Many countries have already started various measures. However, such a move by Moscow does not seem logical. Because if Russia unites with Belarus and launches an attack on Ukraine or neighboring countries, difficulties and losses will increase with the action of many countries. Russian side may suffer the most. Reason for this is that, as it is known, Kiev has much more support. In fact, many successes have been achieved thanks to this advantage since the beginning of the war. For this, relations between countries have a critical importance regarding the war on behalf of both countries. In the long run, the steps to be taken by countries and the decisions to be made will also be of greater importance. Now the steps to be taken have to be chosen accordingly. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.